Static comes in my ears, street feels blurry. Headlines scream like wolves in a flurry. Who's the liar? Who's the thief? Who's the saint in disguise? Tell me, Tyler, are you dodging the knives? Left, right, both wrong. Truth's been gone too long. Tyler today, cut through the haze. Truth ain't a weapon, it's a light, it's a blaze. Tyler today, won't let it decay. Dodging the shadows, truth finds its way. Ink drips, red facts bleed on a paper. Voices crack, truths lost in the vapor. Fingers point at phantoms in the room. Tell me, Tyler, do we stand or assume? Tyler the day, cut through the haze. Truth ain't a weapon, it's a light, it's a blaze. Tyler the day, won't let it decay. Dodging the shadows, truth finds its way. Tempo shifts, heartbeats stutter, lies crack like glass, they mutter. Hands on the clock, ticking slow, ticking fast. Tyler, don't let the truth be the past. Tyler the day, cut through the haze. Truth ain't a weapon, it's a light, it's a blaze. Tyler the day, won't let it decay. Dodging the shadows, truth finds its way.
I hope that song got you guys hyped for Friday. We got a ton of different really interesting news to talk about today. There's a lot of really good stories that I want to talk about. I look forward to talking about it. You probably saw it in the title. That's my favorite story of the day. I've been waiting for this story. We'll be talking about that and a lot more. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. What's up, Guido? I see you in the chat. He said this song is killer. Yes, that is by far my favorite song that I've made with Suno. Just for reference, all the songs that I use on my channel, I make with AI because I am not musically talented, and I also want to, you know, avoid copyright and trademarks and stuff like that. So it's just the easiest thing to do. That, and with AI getting better and better, why not? Why not? I mean, look at the songs that I've made with it so far. The songs that I've made so far have been pretty good. So I don't see any issue with it. But anyway, like I said, we have a ton of different stories to get into today. Let me know how you guys are doing in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below, in the chat below, and I'll respond as I can. But we're gonna be going through this. There's quite a bit to get through, actually. A lot of big stories. Yeah, there is a let me slow down here. I'm jumbling my words. Yesterday, I was out. I didn't do anything. I just didn't feel like talking about news. I'm going to be honest. I just didn't feel like talking about politics and stuff like that. And there weren't any stories that really, like, I was passionate about yesterday. So I just didn't force myself to do a show. It's as simple as that. But there's some stuff that I'm very passionate about today, as you can tell, I hope, if it wasn't obvious with my opener and being very energetic. Anyway, let's get into some of these stories. I want to get into this first story. Let me cut it up a little bit. I'm trying to make these into segments. I like what Tim does. He cuts it up a little bit. So let me let's do a. We have this next story. This first story, really. Move over to it. Oh no. It's doing the wrong screen. Why would you do that? Why would you do such a thing? I should have had it in studio mode. That's fine. That's just showing my stream. This one? No. This one. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. That would be cut up in that would be a terrible cut up in the segment. So let's do that again. We have this story from The Independent. Trump border czar reacts after Indy 500 track boss demands end to Speedway Slammer moniker for new migrant detention center. So I guess the Speedway Slammer is another name similar to like Alligator Alcatraz, I guess. So I don't really have an issue with this. I just thought the story was funny because basically the who was it? ICE? Was it ICE? It says it here. Trump border czar Tom Homan appeared to have no idea Wednesday when asked who was behind the name Speedway Slammer, given to a new migrant detention center in Indiana. I don't name the facilities, Homan told reporters. I don't want the names taking over the great work they're doing. Homan said of immigration officers, this is serious work and it's dangerous work. The Trump administration is working to build out a vast network of migrant detention centers across the country and recently opened a facility in the Florida Everglades known as Alligator Alcatraz. It was constructed in weeks using hundreds of tents, trailers, and other temporary facilities. It's set to hold as many as 3,000 detainees. On Tuesday, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem wrote on X, coming soon to Indiana, the Speedway Slammer. Today, we're announcing a new partnership with the state of Indiana to expand detention bed space by 1,000 beds, thanks to Governor Braun for his partnership to help remove the worst of our country. If you are in America illegally, you could find yourself in Indiana's Speedway Slammer. Avoid arrest and self-deport now using the CBP Home app. Then the official DHS account on X shared an image of what appeared to be an AI-generated Indy car with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement branding. The car was branded with the number 5, which has been used by the only Mexican IndyCar driver, Pato O'Ward, since 2020. So I do think it's kind of funny. I wonder if that was a conscious decision or if that is just pure coincidence. It doesn't seem like it. It seems quite unlikely that they would pick the number 5 and that being the only number, the only is that true? The only Mexican IndyCar driver? Is there none other? There's no other? Interesting. I don't watch, racing and stuff like that. So I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that. I assume it's true because The Independent is usually pretty true. I could double check that though. But regardless, if it's the same number, I wonder if it's coincidence or not. But on Wednesday, Penske Entertainment, the owner of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, said the company did not want its intellectual property used alongside the detention center. We were unaware of plans to incorporate our imagery as part of the announcement, the company told Indy Star in a statement. Consistent with our approach to public policy and political issues, we are communicating our preference that our IP not be utilized moving forward in relation to this matter. So, what was the image? What was the image that they shared? Well, here it is. I have it in the thumbnail today, but it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's like walls of what would be a detention center, I assume, and it looks like they're on a raceway with a ICE-fitted decal on a race car with ICE decals like on the advertisement banners. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious, and I don't think NASCAR or the Indianapolis has anything to do like. None of these racing games has anything to do with this imagery. It's supposed to make fun of the name, which, again, what was the name? It's called the Speedway Slammer for whatever reason. I don't know why it has that nickname. But, again, there's no reason they need to be upset about this. It's just an AI image. But the image has been taken down since. So it is what it is, I guess. But the Speedway Slammer will be located at Miami Correctional Facility, a maximum security prison at the former Grissom Air Force Base, 70 miles north of Indianapolis in Bunker Hill. The 1,000 beds will be made available to represent roughly a third of its total capacity. Immigration advocates have grown frustrated with the sheer amount that's unknown about the Speedway Slammer. How will this become actualized? We still don't know yet. And what will the cost be for our communities? The emotional cost and the okay, I don't care about the emotional. Oh no, the emotional cost of people being deported. Oh no, I'm gonna get so emotional. I may just cry my heart out. Is there anything else here? No, that's about it. That's the story. They didn't like that our government was using a race car with an AI generated race car to promote their stuff. I mean, whatever. I don't care. If you missed it yesterday, I talked about a story that it is kind of funny because a lot of the people in the Trump administration was like, oh, South Park's irrelevant. No one cares about what they have to say or what they do or whatever. And then ICE decides to take a screenshot from the newest episode of South Park and post it in like a promotional tweet. And then the South Park creators, their response was perfect because it was just like, oh, now we're relevant. And it's just kind of funny because it's like, oh, yeah, now we're relevant. Now we're doing something you like. Now we're relevant. So I don't know. It's just, it's funny. It's funny to see that our government is trying to use, they're trying to use media, media and culture to promote things. I think it's really smart. It just further shows that we are winning the culture war now that we see the government trying to use culture to influence us. It's great. I love it. I love having the culture come back to the right. That's what I love. All right, let's see. What else do I have here? Hang on one moment. Make sure I actually have the window up properly. Let me switch over here. Stories do I have up? Let me see. Let's get rid of that race car. I don't want to talk about that just yet because that is a bigger story. Yeah, that's a bigger story. What do I want to talk about? Let's talk about this story next. But before I talk about that, let's talk about Rumble Premium. I don't know about you guys, but you guys should get Rumble Premium. I mean, you've probably noticed Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform, no pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom, and content you actually care about. That's the deal. Also, another reason you guys should support Rumble. They recently added a new update. This is something that was being requested from members of the community as well as other creators. Now, when you subscribe to a channel, now YouTube, but you people watching on YouTube, you might get a little confused by this. On Rumble, you follow someone. On YouTube, you subscribe to someone. If you are to subscribe to someone on Rumble, that's like a $5 a month subscription service. And now what they just did recently is if you subscribe to a channel on Rumble, do the $5 a month, you will view that person's channel ad-free and have access to all their premium content. So if you guys don't want to get the full, Rumble Premium, you could just get premium or, just subscribe to that specific channel. Just a recommendation that Rumble's constantly updating things, constantly improving things for the community. If you can support them, I definitely recommend that you do. Support your creator and support Rumble as a whole. Anyway, thank you for sitting through my ad, guys. Yeah, I got to get those ad reads in every now and again. We'll probably have one later down the road, but it is what it is. What we're going to do now is we're going to move to the next story. What do we have in this next story? Next story. Trump orders Commerce Department to begin work on a new census. President Trump said Thursday morning he has ordered the Commerce Department to begin working on a new census, emphasizing that those who are in the country illegally not be counted in the total. I have instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern-day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024, Trump wrote on Truth Social. People who are in our country illegally will not be counted in the census. He said that in all caps. Thank you for your attention. I hate when he says that. Thank you for your attention to this matter. You don't have to say it every time. Anyway. When reached for comment, a Commerce Department spokesperson told The Hill that the Census Bureau will immediately adopt modern technology tools for use in the census to better understand our robust census data. We will accurately analyze the data to reflect the number of legal residents in the United States. The spokesperson added in an email statement, Trump's order comes as he pushed Republican-leaning states to outline new congressional maps that would be more favorable to GOP House candidates before the 2026 midterms. Excuse me. Texas, in particular, has made national headlines in recent weeks, as the president said the GOP is entitled to gain at least 5 seats in the state in the next year's election. A census is required every 10 years, as outlined in the Constitution. It is designed to count every resident in the U.S., according to its website. The data gathered in the census determines the number of House seats each state has, and it is also utilized to help dish out hundreds of billions of dollars in federal funding to local communities. The census tells us who we are and where we are going to go as a nation, and helps our communities determine where to build everything from schools to supermarkets and homes to hospitals, the Census Bureau said. Now, whether it actually does say that non-citizens should be counted in the census or not is irrelevant, because even if it did say that, which I don't believe it does, even if it did say that, I would say we should change it, because non-citizens simply shouldn't count. They have no voting power. They're not supposed to be here. If you're able to count them, you should be able to remove them. So in the end, they won't matter. Literally just deport them. If you know where they are and you can count them in the census, you know where their house is, deport them. Get rid of them. Why are they here? So I love this. I hope that this actually works. And as far as the redistricting, I mean, we might have to change the way that we do the census. Every 10 years might be too much. We might have to drop that down to every 5 years, honestly. We have, like, population booming and a lot of people relocating and stuff. I don't know. So, especially Texas. Texas especially has a lot of people relocating in and out of Texas. So, yes, redistricting is definitely needed over there. And I love this whole thing, people complaining about the redistricting. I don't care. I don't care. It's politics. It's politics at the end of the day. They're going to redistrict in their favor. Republicans are going to do it. Democrats are going to do it. I gave the example to one of my family members just the other day. I was talking about the redistricting and how California is threatening to do it. And it's funny because where I live in California, you know, I don't want to dox myself. I'm not going to dox myself. But basically, I live in a part of California that is a part of another county that absolutely should not be a part of that county. There's no reason for me to be a part of that county, but I am. For what reason? I don't know. A part of that counny. There's no reason for me to be a part of that county. I was hearing myself through there. But there's no reason. I literally have a mountain that separates me from the actual place that the county is supposed to be. But no, let's include me in there because why not? It's ridiculous. So yeah, the redistricting, the remapping, whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. If the Republicans can pull it off, then yeah, they can pull it off. Same thing for Democrats. Just don't get upset when Democrats go and do it. That's the thing. Is like. All the people cheering for the Republicans and, cheering for the Democrats to get arrested for holding up the vote. Just don't get upset if you see California doing some BS redistricting next, because they say they're going to. That's just politics, man. They're going to redistrict in their favor, always. Always, always, always. Because all you have to do is you just cut a district a certain way, and then you disenfranchise the other party, because now, you split the vote, and then that county goes a different direction. In terms of voting. So, let's see. We'll see if anything actually comes of this. I don't know if anything will, but Trump's making some he's making some big moves. We'll see. Anyway, let's move to this next story. Let me go back to studio mode and let me go back to my desk. All right. How are you guys doing today? Does anyone have any plans for the weekend? Any plans for Friday and the weekend? It's my girlfriend's birthday over the weekend, so I'm gonna be hanging out with her and doing some other stuff that I need to take care of. But what does everyone else got going on? What is everyone else doing? Anyway, I am late. Killing it since you are late. How dare you? Use the power when you have it, or they will use it against you. Yeah, I mean, basically, and Republicans often forget that. So it is what it is, I guess. I want to move to this next story because this is a major story. I love this story so much. I put this story in the title and the thumbnail because big story. This is a massive. I love it so much. Trump directs the Pentagon to use military force against the cartels. Guys, it's starting. We're gonna start seeing some military strikes on the cartels. Get ready for it. This is what leads up to that. So I don't know what video is playing there, but President Trump has reportedly signed a directive for the Pentagon to start using military force against certain drug cartels that have been designated foreign terrorist organizations. The New York Times reported Trump signed the directive in secret, providing a justification for potential military operations against the criminal organizations. The Times reported that U.S. military officials have started drawing up plans for how the military could target cartels, but any unilateral strikes against the groups could also raise legal issues if individuals are killed who do not pose an imminent threat or are not a part of a conflict where Congress has authorized military action. President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland, which is why he took the bold step to designate several cartels and gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. White House spokesperson Anna Kelly said in a statement to The Hill, Trump, upon taking office, took executive action to designate several drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, which provided additional law enforcement tools to crack down on their activity. The president confirmed in May that he had offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico and combat drug cartels, but he was rebuffed by Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. She said that we can collaborate, we can work together, but you in your territory and us in ours. We can share information, but we will never accept the presence of the United States Army in our territory. Zoinks! Zoinks! Whoa. Thank you guys for following. We just got a new follower? Who followed? The bot's broken today. Thank you for the follow, whoever just followed. Just finished up work, going to go live in the live in the gym the rest of the weekend. Oh, go live in the gym. Live in the gym. Anyway. So yeah, obviously the Mexican president, she has to say this because she can't say, oh yeah, we're just going to let the U.S. Army in, open arms. Yeah, come help us clean out the cartels. She'll get assassinated in 2 seconds. Or if not her family or other people she cares about. The cartels own the government in Mexico. So I don't necessarily blame her, but she's also working for the cartels, so I do kind of blame her. But yes, this needs to happen. Absolutely needs to happen. I don't know how you guys feel about war with the cartels, but my position, and I have been firm on this since since like the entire all this year anytime the issues come up, I've said it repeatedly. Take all the funding from Israel, take all the funding from Palestine, Gaza, Ukraine, Russia. Stop funding all of these BS wars. Let's fund the war on our border. The military-industrial complex is constantly looking for a war, right? Let's give them a war. Let's give them a war that we actually agree with. Let them militarize the entire southern border. Let them put bases all along it, militarize the crap out of it, and then just let them obliterate the cartels. I'm down. I'm down for it. All this money we're sending to these other countries, we could be open weapon testing on the southern border. I'm just saying we can be openly weapon testing on the southern border right now. But no, we just send it to Ukraine and Israel and let their troops get the experience. Let them get the combat training. Nah, screw that. We need it. Yes, preach, Tyler. No, it's ridiculous, though. We fund all these foreign wars. We fund a war in Israel while our own military is lacking. We haven't been in an actual conflict in a while. Our troops are not going to be combat ready. If we start going to war with these other places, they're going to be combat ready. Russia's actively testing tactics in combat right now. All we have are drones that fly around Ukraine and Russia, and we just watch from a distance right now, trying to prep that way. And I mean, so are the other countries. But I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I've noticed multiple stories. All the countries are watching the war in Ukraine. They're all watching, and why wouldn't you? Because it's the most modern war that we've seen ever. So a lot of these countries are watching for war tactics and stuff, and the U.S. military even is. the U.S. military just designed a new 3D printer that can 3D print the drones like Ukraine is using, the explosive drones. You can 3D print them on the battlefield now. That's what our military is doing. So yeah, stuff like that. Like, we can be funding all of this stuff on the southern border. Go wipe out the cartels. I don't care really what the Mexican military says. What are they going to do? Are they going to side with the cartels? If we start drone striking the cartels, would the Mexican military strike us? And if they do, then okay, so be it. That just goes to show that the Mexican cartel has taken over the government. If the government starts defending the cartels when we start striking them, the Mexican government has been conquered. So then that's it. So then it escalates from a war with the cartel to a war with Mexico because the cartels own Mexico. That's where I see it going if Mexico doesn't decide to actually work with us. Because what could be happening and what I see happening is that we just have the Mexican president saying that she wouldn't allow this, but then, you know, you go behind closed doors and she's talking to President Trump and she's like, please tell me what to say. That way you guys can actually come in, whatever you guys need. Like, behind closed doors, she could be saying something completely different. But openly, she has to say this because she has to protect herself. I understand. We have this story from the New York Post. I really like using the New York Post. And Fishy has arrived for the news. What's up, Fishy? So we have this from the New York Post. He said, Trump secretly authorized military force against Latin American drug cartels classified as foreign terrorist organizations. So Washington, this is from President Trump, has secretly authorized the military to use force against Latin American drug cartels classified as foreign terrorist organizations, the Post has learned. The move is the most aggressive action Trump has taken against gangs trafficking drugs like fentanyl across the U.S.-Mexico border, the activities of which were previously the purview of federal law enforcement. Excuse me. The order, first obtained Friday by the New York Times, gives us U.S. forces official permission to engage cartels on land and sea. Good. Absolutely good. Guys, the military... Sorry. Let me stop there. Slow down. The cartels have gotten militarized to the point now where they have RPGs. They have armored vehicles. They make their own submarines. They are a military force. They are stronger than a lot of other governments' actual militaries. So they're not a threat to be, you know, taken lightly. Not one bit. When I talk about going to war on the southern border, I'm not talking about, oh, we're just going to walk over them. I know that's not going to happen. I absolutely know it's not going to happen. And it's going to suck. But it's something that has to happen because you look at all the things that the cartels have been doing for decades on our border. The human trafficking alone is enough for us to go and wipe them off this planet. So it will be hard and it will be tough, but we cannot allow something like that to be a neighbor to us. And we need to get approval from Congress or whatever needs to happen. We need to get approval from Congress to just declare war on the cartels and declare war on Mexico if we have to. Like I said, if Mexico refuses to work with us and decides to side with the cartels, then so be it. But we can't allow this any longer. And the fact that this hadn't happened sooner, I mean, think about that. Federal law enforcement going up against a literal military force. That's what we had until President Trump got in office this time around. We had a military force up against our law enforcement. So that was dumb from the start. So to see this, I'm extremely happy. I've been advocating for this all year, and I'm really excited to start seeing some contact, if you want to call it, over on our southern border. I would like for the wars to stop, at least the funding and the supplying and the aid to stop to these other foreign countries. But you know, I'll at least take this. You know, I'm cool with us starting a war on the southern border. I wish we stopped funding these other foreign wars first. But whatever. I still want the war. I still want the southern war. Sorry, this is the one war where I'm in full support of it, guys. I'm in full support of war when it comes to the southern border. I have no apologies for it. Take my vote. Yes, take my vote. Let's see. The president is determined to not just dismantle but completely destroy Maduro's Cartel de las Soles and obliterate their operation in the Western Hemisphere. The State Department's list of foreign terrorist organizations involved in drug trafficking include Venezuela's Tren de Agua and Cartel de los Soles. I can't speak Spanish. as well as El Salvador-rooted Mara Salvatrucha? Okay, MS-13. I didn't know that was the actual name for MS-13, but anyway, I guess that makes sense. But so basically what this is saying here, though, is that we might start seeing strikes as far as Venezuela and El Salvador then. If we're trying to completely obliterate the organization, it won't be enough to just go into Mexico then. I don't know. I'm still in support of that, though. I think we should just wipe out all the cartels that try to operate on our borders. I'm fine with it. They list the age of Trump. Okay. So Trump publicly mulled over authorizing the military to target drug cartels inside Mexico on the 2024 campaign trail. Since taking office, the president has upped tariffs on Canada and Mexico, citing their inability to shut down drugs and people smuggling into the U.S., and directing immigration agents to go after new arrivals with gang ties. The move is an aggressive action. Okay, whatever. Trump has also hosted families impacted by gang violence in the White House and has vowed to strip cartels of their assets to give to families impacted by migrant crime. That's excellent. That's an excellent idea. Anyone like so assuming what this means, but what that means is basically if a family has another family member hurt or even murdered by an illegal immigrant or a gang member or someone related to the cartel, you take their assets that are U.S. assets and then you give to the family that they harmed. I love that idea. That's excellent. Sounds a little bit like communism, but maybe don't come here illegally and maybe don't commit crimes. That's what I think. Maduro, Venezuela's president since 2013, has been a particular focus of the administration. Funny how they call him president, more like a dictator. The Justice and State Departments announced Thursday they would award $50 million to anyone providing details leading to his arrest for violating U.S. drug laws. That's kind of funny that they're putting out a $50 million reward for arresting the president of Venezuela. It's interesting. It's interesting. The anti-cartel effort is being coordinated among several departments, including the Department of Defense, Justice Department, Department of Homeland Security, Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and the Treasury, the source added. President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland, Deputy White House Press Secretary Anna Kelly said in a statement, which is why he took up the bold step to designate several cartels and gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. Yeah, like I said, guys, I'm all for the war on the southern border. I would like to stop funding these other wars that we have nothing to do with, that just get us into conflicts we don't need to be in. And I would love to get us into a conflict that we should be in. And that is the war on our southern border. I think we should, that's a conflict that we should be in. And if it turned out that I needed to sign up for that war because we needed people, I would do it. I have back problems and other health issues, but if there's a job that I can do in the military, I'll do it. I'll do it to go and take out the cartels. That's one of the wars I'd be willing to fight for sure. Anyway, I could talk about that all day, but we're gonna move on to another story. Man, I'm blowing through the news a little bit quicker than I thought I would, which is a little bit unfortunate. I suppose I could talk about the cartels a little bit more. I mean, there is a lot more I could say about it, because the war wouldn't be as simple as just wiping the cartels out, as I've talked about on, After Dark with multiple people, and they bring up a good point, I guess. The point that was brought up to me when arguing this is that we can't just go in and wipe out the cartels, because if we just go in and wipe out the cartels, you're not addressing the root of why the cartels exist. The reason the cartels exist is because there's not as much economic opportunity in these areas, which people then resort to crime and other things like cartel-related activities. So if we just go in, wipe out the cartels, destroy the economy that the cartels do provide, because there's no denying that the cartels in Mexico are one of the largest employers of Mexico. And I'm being serious, like legitimate employers, not just illegal stuff too. So if we go in and just wipe them off the map, it will decimate the Mexican economy. And then what do? Because we go in, wipe out the cartels, and then leave. 5-10 years later, the problem's back. So I don't know. What is the solution there? What do you guys think we do? Because we talked about it on the After Dark, and essentially the solution came down to, and I know everyone hates it, is nation building. We would have to go into Mexico. We would have to occupy Mexico for at least maybe even a generation, and we would have to build up their economy. We would have to physically build up their economy, put down infrastructure, put down businesses and places for people to work, and start putting down putting down the work. We would have to start doing the work for them, essentially, for these cartels not to come back. That's how bad it's gotten. It's gotten so bad that we would have to step in and physically build Mexico back up for them. That's where it's at, because Mexico can't save itself, I think. The cartels own the government. The cartels literally own the government. The Mexican president literally won't even allow the U.S. military to come in. She said, oh, yeah, we'll work with you guys. We agree that we need to get rid of them, but you guys aren't allowed to step foot across our border. Why? Why is that? Because she knows if we do, not only does it look bad on her optically that she wasn't able to handle the issue, but the cartels will directly target her as well. Because she, as the president, has the ability to stop the U.S. from coming in unless the U.S. declares war on Mexico. That's why I said it. This can go in some pretty crazy places, but the only way we truly fix this is we declare war on the cartels, which would likely escalate to declaring war on Mexico, which would then escalate into us occupying Mexico, because that's how you actually fix it. Sounds good. Makes everyone in Mexico learn English, see how they like it. That's kind of funny. But yeah, that's where I'm at on it, guys. And I would love to hear counterpoints. You know, I don't want to be in an echo chamber where I'm just hearing myself and hearing opinions like mine. If you guys disagree, let me know down in the chat. Let me know in the comments down below, of course. But that's where I'm at on this. I think we need this war with Mexico, and it will escalate. And I'm prepared for it, personally. All right, I think I killed enough time there. Let's move on, shall we? I appreciate you guys hanging out today, by the way. I'm having a lot of fun on the show today. I don't know about you guys. Who was that? I didn't read it fast enough. It said someone followed. I couldn't read it. Too small. I'm blind. I'm blind, damn it. I'm blind. I'm sorry. Anyway. Let's see what to talk about. Ooh, another ad. That's what we get to talk about. You guys get another ad from me. What is the ad today, you say? Well, the next ad you guys get from me. How am I so energetic? Well, it's not coffee, but if you want to be energetic like me, maybe you should buy some coffee. And if you're going to buy some coffee, why don't you go and pick up yourself some 1775 coffee? You still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom coffee for the clean energy and laser focus, no crash. Excuse me. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for only $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Hell yeah. Go check out 1775 coffee, guys. I hear it is absolutely delicious. That's so I hear. So I hear. Says I could do another ad. Can I do back-to-back ads? Is that a thing? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. There's usually a cooldown. There we go. That was weird. Anyway, thank you guys for sitting through the ad. Sounds good. Make everyone in Mexico learn English. Nope. Did a head count before I came in. All these people are red-blooded Americans. Fuck Mexico. So it's kind of like Japan after the bomb situation then. Did we occupy Japan? I think we did, huh? Yes. Like I said, we would have to occupy. I mean, the guy that I was talking to on the Timcast Discord for After Dark, he brought up really good points. Let's see. I'm just reading stuff on the Discord that I don't need to read right now. Let's see. I want to jump to this next story. Let's see. Now, I've tried to look into the story. There's not a lot of great articles about it. But I have this one from Fox News, so we're going to jump into it. Next story. We have this for you guys. Trump's full court press against Orwellian European censorship intensifies amid U.S. efforts to unleash AI. The Trump administration has been on a months-long campaign railing against what it says are draconian censorship regulations in Europe that have not only stifled free speech, but have also served as another roadblock amid the artificial intelligence revolution. In Europe, thousands are being convicted of the crime of criticizing their own governments. The State Department recently posted to X, accompanied by a graphic slamming Europe's Digital Services Act, DSA, this Orwellian message won't fool the United States. Censorship is not freedom. The EU adopted DSA in 2022 to regulate online platforms such as social networks, content sharing platforms, and app stores, and is intended to prevent illegal and harmful activities online and the spread of disinformation. The law has since faced opposition from the Trump administration amid its free speech promotion and on the global stage. Yeah, so what this law does, guys, it's not just illegal content. If it was just illegal content, that makes sense. Like, you know, content where you're defaming someone, slandering, gruesome depictions of things, child abuse, stuff like that. If it was just that, I'd be like, yes, boom, get rid of that stuff immediately, punish the sites that won't remove it. Awesome. That's not what we're talking about, of course. We're talking about the EU, where we've been talking about for the past couple of years now, where in places like Germany and Europe and just, well, all of Europe, really. Germany is a place in Europe. All of Europe, you post things on social media and you could face fines or even jail time for things like disinformation or hate speech. What is either of those? Well, that's dependent entirely upon the person bringing the charges to you. You offended me? That's hate speech. You said a slur of some kind? Hate speech. But, I mean, people like to say that there's no actual definition of hate speech. I'll tell you what hate speech is. Hate speech is slurs. Basically, they don't want you to say slurs that are unapproved by the rest of society. There are slurs that you can use that are completely approved by society. No one's going to bat an eye at you using them. For example, I'm glad to be a part of the generation that has the first ever slur for robots. What's up, my clanker? My clankers? That's socially acceptable to say clanker and clanka, even though that's technically a slur for robots. But that would be hate speech if I were talking to a robot, technically, right? But who cares? Hate speech is also protected speech under the Constitution. So my hate speech is also protected speech. Go screw yourself. So you shouldn't be policing people's speech. If you don't like what I'm saying, don't read it. You don't have to listen to it. Move on with your life. And then disinformation. Well, you know, disinformation can depend widely, because if we're speculating on something, then it's just that, speculation. You can't call it disinformation if we're speculating on something that's not confirmed. But if we do have confirmation on something and something can be provable without a shadow of a doubt, and then you're saying something to the contrary, then yes, that's disinformation. However, I think people should be able to say it because people are allowed to be wrong. So this whole law is just draconian, as they say. The State Department X post follows a months-long campaign. I read that already. Fox News Digital spoke with Darren Biede, a acting Under Secretary of State for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs, who explained that the Trump administration takes a hatchet to the restrictions and censorship, most notably online and left over from the Biden era. Europe has moved to intensify its censorship with laws such as the DSA. As we are rolling back the censorship industry in the United States by actions like what the State Department did, what we did at the State Department killing the Global Engagement Center, but it's happening all across the administration. What's happening is in Europe, the European Union and the UK are moving to pick up the slack. That is to say, as we're pushing back the censorship regime domestically, it's intensifying in Europe. The Global Engagement Center was an office established within the State Department during the Obama era that was plagued by accusations of censorship while positioning itself as focused on countering foreign propaganda and disinformation. The Trump administration State Department shuttered the office earlier in 2025. Good. Biede added that the U.S. is not taking a holier-than-thou approach to the issue, noting that censorship loomed large throughout the U.S. under the Biden administration. He pointed to such cases as social media user Douglas Mackey, who was convicted in 2023 of conspiring to suppress voter turnout in 2016 after posting phony voting messages. I don't like the way that they frame that there. What Douglas Mackey actually did was he posted a meme, which, yes, did have a wrong phone number, but said something like, oh, make sure you vote early, vote now by texting this number. I'm sorry, but if you fall for that, you don't deserve to vote. That's my opinion. That's a litmus test for whether or not you deserve to vote. If you fall for that, you absolutely should not be voting. Please do not vote. Please do not. I met someone who's actually like not politically involved recently, and she actually said that she purposefully does not vote because she knows that she would be voting, without any idea on what she's voting on. And I was like, thank you, because a lot of people will just vote because they feel like they need to vote a certain way. But this person was like, no, I just don't vote. But now she did have opinions on certain things policy wise, but she was like, oh, I don't read what I'm actually voting on, so why would I vote? I appreciate that. I wish more people did that. But back to Douglas Mackey. Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong, and they targeted him very arbitrarily. We were under Biden moving in that direction in a very dangerous way. The weaponization of government that occurred under Biden was severe. President Donald Trump delivered his highly anticipated AI speech at the end of July, unveiling his administration's plan of action, which included protecting AI systems from bias. The White House Office of Science and Technology Policy Director Michael Kratsios previewed the plan to the media, which included warning that the U.S. will not go down the same technology path as Europe, citing its strict regulations on the tech. Good. Yeah, no, we need to be at the top and the forefront of AI. I talked about this on my previous show Wednesday. AI is a weapon, man. I mean, AI is absolutely a weapon. Whoever gets it first is going to have a super weapon that they can use on the rest of the world. So absolutely, we need to be the first to do that. There were arguments a few years ago about possibly having restrictions on it, but we were never going to get these other countries to agree to restrictions on it. So the goal always should have been following that. Immediately upon realizing that, the goal needed to be, okay, if you aren't stopping, no one else is stopping, we'll do it first and we'll do it the best. That is always what the United States has done, and that's what we need to continue to do in order to be the best. That's my opinion. Anyway, I want to move to this next section of the story. This is within the same vein of what we were just talking about. Exclusive: Rubio orders the U.S. diplomats to launch lobbying blitz against Europe's tech law. So it looks like President Donald Trump's administration has instructed U.S. diplomats in Europe to launch a lobbying campaign again to now build opposition to the European Union's Digital Service Act, which Washington says stifles free speech and imposes cost on U.S. tech companies. An internal diplomatic cable seen by Reuters showed. In a State Department cable dated August 4th, signed by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the agency said that the EU was pursuing undue restrictions on freedom of expression in its efforts to combat hateful speech, misinformation, and disinformation, and the DSA was further enhancing these curbs. The EU's DSA is a landmark law meant to make the online environment safer and fairer by compelling tech giants to do more to tackle illegal content, including hate speech and child sexual abuse materials. See how they rope that in there? They realized that they couldn't get us on just hate speech, so now they're trying to tie hate speech to illegal content and child sexual abuse. That's what they're trying to do. They're like, oh, sorry, guys, we can't get them on the speech laws. But if we start tying the speech laws into child abuse and other illegal content, maybe then we can get it in there. And it looks like it's working. Disgusting. Yeah, Trump has made combating censorship, particularly what he sees as stifling of conservative voices online, a major theme of his administration. It goes on to talk about, let's see, the cable whose headline described as an action request tasked American diplomats across U.S. embassies in Europe with regularly engaging with EU governments and digital services authorities to convey U.S. concerns about the DSA and the financial cost of U.S. companies. I mean, good. I don't need to read the whole article. Just to break it down for you guys, essentially what it's saying here is that we are now lobbying these European countries to now go back on this law, which they absolutely should. I don't like that our allies are going in the way of fascism and communism, whatever you want to call it. It goes far enough in one direction or the other, it ends up being the same thing anyway. You get too much fascism, you go too far in the direction of fascism, it's the same outcome as communism. Go in too far in the direction of communism is the same outcome as fascism. Basically, your rights get trampled and no one wins except for the few rich and powerful. So yes, absolutely. Let's get rid of this law. Let's lobby our allies to get rid of laws like this. I'm all for it. I'm absolutely for it. Let's move on to our next stories that we've got for you guys. Can I do another ad for you guys? I want to just get these ads out of the way. I don't really like doing the ads. Can I just get this out of the way? Nope. I've got 8 minutes until I can do another ad. I think I'm gonna run out of news today. Actually, guys, I might have to run out of stories to talk about. We'll see. We'll see. I have more stories to talk about. Oh no! I accidentally closed my. Oh crap! I closed my window. There we go. Okay. I didn't mean to close the window all the way down. Oops. Anyway, I should probably read some of your guys' chats. What are you guys saying in the chat? Let's see. So, kinda, we did throw a lot at their infrastructure and stripped them of being armed enough to have an offensive force. Ha, clankers. Yes. Ha, clankers. The first offensive term for robots, which I recommend everybody use. You should all use clankers. Clankers, what's up, my clankers? Anyway, let's get through these next stories. I have this for you guys. Next story coming up. Hegseth threatens another civil war to defend proud Confederate history. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has vowed not to back down from it, celebrating America's proud Confederate history. We recognize our history, Hegseth told Fox News host Will Cain on Thursday. We don't erase it. We don't follow the woke lemmings off the cliff that want to tear down statues. We're proud of our history. Hegseth was defending the decision to restore a Confederate monument in Arlington National Cemetery that critics say whitewashes the history of slavery in America. Guys, having statues like this, oh, what the heck? Having statues like that doesn't whitewash the history of slavery. It absolutely doesn't. If anything, it helps us to remember where we came from. So I'm in full support of having Confederate stuff up. Maybe, you know, I would concede maybe we don't have them like out in public, but we absolutely should have museums of this stuff. This stuff shouldn't be destroyed. I don't agree with destroying this stuff. Same thing with Nazi stuff. Like, I don't think we should be destroying anything to do with the Nazis. We should save that stuff for museums and for history. You should save that stuff. Whether you agree with the ideology or not. Whether you agree with the ideology or not, you should never wipe it off the planet. You should never wipe it from memory in any way. Because, you know, very cliche, but those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. So if we just start, you know, deleting things from our history, like, oh, that slavery stuff never happened, Confederacy never happened, well, we'll just repeat it, you know, 1,000 years down the line. It's fine. Shortly after rebuking those who want to remove Confederate symbols, Hegseth made it clear that he is willing to do whatever it takes to defeat his opposition. Our job is to ensure our enemies know exactly what we will do to them if they threaten us, up to and including total war. The monument in question is Moses Ezekiel's Confederate Memorial. It features an inscription in Latin that describes the Civil War as a lost cause that was honorable for its noble principles and resistance to tyranny. This is the problem when everyone is on drugs, everything is racist, bigoted, and no one knows what anything means or represents. Yes, that's why I care very much about the meaning of words. The meaning of words I care very deeply about, because that's how we communicate. The sculpture also depicts black people as supporting the Confederate soldiers, implying that they wish to remain enslaved. Well, I don't know if you can take that context from it, but okay. The 32-foot tall monument offers a nostalgic, mythologicalized vision of the Confederacy, including highly sanitized depictions of slavery, according to an archived version of the National Cemetery website. So, and then it just goes on to say here that the National Park Service announced earlier this week that it is bringing back a statue of Confederate Army General Albert Pike, who was once wrote that the white race and that race alone shall govern this country. It is, this is a quote from General Albert Pike, by the way, don't clip me. It is the only one that is fit to govern. Again, a quote from General Albert Pike. He goes on to say, it is the only one that shall. Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, that is very, very incredibly racist. But again, I don't think you should just delete him from history. You should have that stuff on display and teach about why it's bad and wrong and how we've grown from it. That's what I think we should do personally. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What should we do with the I don't know, the statues and other things from Confederacy and other terrible things from history. What should we do with that stuff? What do you guys think? Let me know. All right, we're gonna move on again to another story real quick. I want to jump to this. We're gonna be talking about this pretty cool story. I thought the story was pretty neat. Now, this has absolutely nothing to do with politics. I try to bring up stories that have nothing to do with politics as much as I can, because I do love politics, right? Don't get me wrong, but stories that don't involve politics are great. I love those. Those are my favorite, personally. Stories like this. I love getting stories like this. Guys, China is now turning to gun silencers to stifle boom from their 370 mile per hour trains. The trains in China are so fast that they create sonic booms. Obviously, that's going to be an issue if these trains are anywhere near residential or city areas. So they're now looking into technology used on suppressors to stifle the sound from their trains. I love it. I just love everything about this story. Fast trains, suppressors from guns, using that technology and adapting it for trains. I love it. That sounds amazing. Imagine traveling almost 400 miles an hour through a suppressor. That sounds amazing. I'm just saying. Tyler's a psyop. This is not a psyop. I would never go to China. I don't want to go to China. All right. This is really cool. I want America to do this. America should be doing things like this. I don't want China. I don't want stories like this from China. I want stories like this from the United States. I want to be sitting here reading about how, guys, they're making a bullet train from LA to Vegas, and in that bullet train, there's going to be a suppressor section that you fly through. That's the story I want to read, but no, this is China, and China has the bullet trains. Sorry, killing it, Sense. Complain to Gavin Newsom, who's wasted billions of dollars on our train that hasn't happened. So China's railway engineers have turned to technology normally used to silence handguns to stifle the sonic boom produced by its latest 370 mile per hour trains. The super-fast trains, which use a technology known as magnetic levitation, or maglev, travel by hovering above the rails instead of on the tracks, making them travel much faster than normal high-speed trains, which travel at 186 miles per hour. However, this means that when they travel through tunnels, air is compressed like a piston, leading to a loud shock wave when they exit the tunnel. These tunnel booms, as they are known, can be heard up to a mile away and risk causing structural damage. God damn! I mean, that makes sense. Here, let me switch screens. How fast is a bullet? How fast is a bullet? Like when it exits. How fast is a bullet? So bullets travel about 2,725 miles per hour. So that's a lot more than the train. But still, we're talking about 10%, 15% of the speed of a bullet. It's breaking the sound barrier. Yeah, that absolutely would cause structural damage to things, nearby. So, yeah, this seems like a legitimate issue. Like, besides the fact that this sounds like a cool story, this seems like an actual legitimate issue that they need to look into. So to eliminate the boom, the Chinese engineers have proposed fitting a 100-meter, 330-foot porous structure at the tunnel mouths that will allow the trapped air to evaporate without creating the jet-like bang. The soundproofing system can reduce the creation of shock waves by 96 pc in much the same way as a silencer fitted to a firearm. Silencers slow down high-pressure gases produced when a weapon is fired by pushing the gases through a series of internal chambers before they exit the barrel. This dissolves the energy released dissolves the energy released over a larger surface area, reducing the loudness of the blast. Only 7 maglev services are operational worldwide today, mostly on low-speed airport links, but CRRC, China's state-owned train maker, is targeting the launch of ultra-fast services within the next 5 years. The company showed off a prototype of its latest design in Beijing last month in a sign of its increasing confidence in the technology. The CRRC 600, named to reflect its top speed of 600 kilometers an hour, equivalent to 373 miles per hour, aims to create a new travel niche between the fastest conventional trains and jet aircraft over distances up to 1,300 miles. Chinese engineers developing the maglevs had already included a sharp beak on the front of the train that slices through the air more efficiently, reducing drag. Last year, they said that the tunnel booms could be combated using foam hoods positioned at the entrance of and the exit of the tunnel to help dissipate the waves. Subsequent work found that fitting the hoods with a honeycomb-like lattice structure and making them 100 meters long would boost the benefits. They're literally fitting these tunnels into... They're literally fitting grooves that are the same grooves on the inside of silencers into these tunnels now. That sounds really cool. The technology used in firearms is now being adapted to make trains go faster through mountains. I love it. That's so cool. That just sounds really cool. While current high-speed trains can also produce a boom, the strength of the shockwave increases rapidly with speed. That means that while a conventional train might not produce a boom until a tunnel less than 3.7 miles long, a maglev would do so in one measuring just 1.2 miles long. So yeah, these trains move so fast that they can produce shockwaves or sound waves through even smaller tunnels. I love this. I had to bring this story up because that's just a really cool story, guys. Super cool. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Let me read what you guys are talking about in the comments down below. Tyler is a psyop based. We need bullet trains. We absolutely need bullet trains. Hello Darkness was not referring to the trains being a psyop. I may be wrong, but I am assuming he was referring to the controversy with your question to IRL and there being no news. Oh, did he? Yeah, there was no news today. Tyler is a psyop. Oh, yes, there's never any news today. Tim's not even doing any news stuff today. But you guys should go watch the Culture War live, because that got posted today. And Joey actually got to go up for a moment, so that was awesome. I love this great story. Yeah, no, that was an amazing story. I love that story. Like I said, always great to have stories that aren't political. Always great. Trump should make a faster train and call it a Tomahawk train. I like that. That's kind of funny. No, we should call it the gold train. Call it the gold train because it flows like gold. Fast and hard, heavy. I'm surprised you picked up on that. Killing it. LOL. I love this great story. Yep. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Let's move on. We're going to move on to another story here. What do we got? What time is it? Okay, so we got about 30 minutes left in the story. You guys are going to be... I'm going to be sending you guys over to Sean here in about 30 minutes. But before I do so... Is it time? Is it time yet? Oh, it is. It is time. Would you look at that? It is time for an ad. Look at that. Is the ad appearing? It is on my screen. All right, outdoor crew, or anyone who just wants to be ready for anything, check out the Red Pro Series 72-hour emergency kit from Caddis Sports. This is a serious 72-hour survival pack built into a rugged tactical backpack and loaded with everything one person needs. 2,400 calories of food bars, 5 water pouches, thermal emergency blanket, 36-piece first aid kit, emergency stove, and canteen cup. All of it has a 5-year shelf life, so you're covered for hurricanes, wildfires, blackouts, whatever life throws at you. Whether you're off-grid or just want peace of mind at home, this kit's a must-have, compact, reliable, and made for real emergencies. Use code RUMBLE at checkout for 10% off your order today. That's caddissports.com. Gear up, stay safe, and be ready when it counts. There you go, guys. Go check out Caddis Sports for a survival kit. There you go. If you're in the market for a survival kit, use the code on my stream. Do it. Do it now. Anyway, we need bigger and faster trains. I agree. I absolutely agree. I'm going to bring this up next because this is just real quick. I am going to run out of stories, so I think I'm going to end up ending a little bit early today. We'll see. Maybe I'll just play some music for you guys. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Well, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Maybe if someone sends in a big fat rumble rant, I'll just hang out with you guys. Well, we'll do a Q&A or we'll play not... Oh! Never mind. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing to kill time. Never mind. Never mind. If you still want to send in a rumble rant, suggest something else we do towards the end of the show. But I already know what we're doing. I already know. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Anywho. What do we got next? What's in the news next? Oh, that's what's in the news next. And California is on fire again. Well, California canyon fire grows overnight. Thousands forced to evacuate. Now, I live near LA. And yeah, I'm not too far from this, I guess. And yeah, this isn't super surprising. It's been incredibly hot. It's been very windy. This was bound to happen, and it just exploded. I mean, a fast-moving wildfire in Southern California grew overnight, forcing thousands of residents to evacuate as flames tore through dry brush just north of Los Angeles. The Canyon Fire ignited Thursday afternoon near Lake Peru in Ventura County and quickly grew from 50 acres to nearly 5,000. Excuse me, jeez. So this fire was near Lake Peru in Ventura County and quickly grew from 50 acres to nearly 5,000 acres by Friday morning. As of now, the fire is 0% contained. Fire fueled by heat and dry winds. Officials describe the Canyon Fire as a very dynamic situation fueled by hot, dry conditions and challenging topography. As of Friday morning, 250 firefighters battled the blaze with assistance from 7 helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been incredibly hot, incredibly windy. It's always super dry here. We haven't had rain in a long time in this area. So yeah, this was bound to happen. We have perfect conditions for a bad fire. So it is what it is, and our state doesn't do enough to mitigate it. Officials said more than 4,200 residents and 1,400 structures faced evacuation orders, and another 12,500 people were under evacuation warning. The blaze continues to burn in steep, rugged terrain near the Los Padres National Forest, the same area threatened by the Hughes Fire in January, which scorched about 15 square miles in just 6 hours. So far, authorities have not reported any injuries in the Canyon Fire. California wildfire risk remains high. The Canyon Fire is the latest in a string of wildfires threatening California this summer. Excuse me. Earlier this week, the Guilford Fire in South Central California became the state's largest wildfire of the year, threatening nearly 900 structures at its peak and still burning in the Los Padres National Forest, as reported by the Straight Arrow News earlier this week. As of Friday morning, the Guilford Fire remains just 15% contained, according to CAL FIRE's latest report. Risk remains over the weekend. Forecasters warn that wildfire conditions will remain elevated through the weekend. As a dangerous heat wave grips much of the state, August and September are typically the most active wildfire months across California and the western U.S. Yes, like I said, very, very, very hot out. And please don't be one of those people tossing your lit cigarettes out the window because you are an absolute piece of shit for doing so. Don't do that. I know people that do that, and it pisses me off to no end. Anyway, there's the news, guys. California's on wildfire watch again because we're burning. The state's burning, and you shouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised. It just sucks when this state burns because it really is such a beautiful state. If you've never been to California, I know everyone craps on California, but it really is a beautiful state. You should absolutely go and visit places like Big Bear. Absolutely beautiful places. Go visit the Redwoods. Absolutely amazing places. Don't stay. I'm not telling you to stay in California, but you should absolutely visit California when you get the chance. I recommend it. Just make sure you have a lot of money, and make sure you don't have things visible in your car or your rental. You don't want it getting stolen. Anyway, let's move to another story. Let's move along here. Moving along. Let me get that last thing ready that I want to have ready for you guys. Let's do... let me get this ready for you guys. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Is this what I was looking for? This is what I was looking for. Okay. All right, we're going to move to this next story. All right. Gallup poll shows 7 in 10 Ukrainians want negotiations to end the war. So I'm not going to go into this too much, but basically, now a new poll shows that nearly 7 in 10 Ukrainians now say that they want a negotiated end to the war with Russia. 70% of Ukraine is done with the war. You have all these people that keep saying that we need to keep funding this war. Ukraine needs to fight this war. No, dude, the Ukrainians they're done. They're over it. I've been talking about this extensively. They're done. They're over it. There's no war left. There's no people to fight the war. No one wants to fight the war, and yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. Sorry, I'm messaging someone. Okay, there we go. Messaging someone about another stream I was going to be doing. But yeah, so 70% of Ukraine is just done with the war, guys. I just wanted to bring that up because it's hilarious. A new Gallup poll shows that the vast majority of Ukraine wants the war over, which, I mean, it's not like we really needed a poll to say that, but yeah, it just goes to show that the war needs to end. I want to move on to this next story. Major news from James Okeefe. James Okeefe always bringing us major news. Whistleblower. Former Attorney General Bill Barr and media figure Armstrong Williams are running a legal immigration visa fraud scheme for billionaires. Look at this, guys. Key points. So it looks like key points. Patricia Lellis, whistleblower, former journalist at Howard Stark Holdings. Quote, "It's clear why I'm being prosecuted and no one else is. I reported Bill Barr and Armstrong Williams to the FBI. It is way more easy to defraud the immigration system and the government more than people think. And I have proof of that because that's what Armstrong Williams and former Attorney General Bill Barr does. Bill Barr knows the companies that they launched for the visa was not real companies. After they got their visas, I discovered they do not have any plan to open and operate the company, so it's basically like they create a fake company." So what was happening here? Bill Barr and this influencer, Armstrong Williams, or what is she? She's a media figure, whatever that is. So these two people, they were working together to help foreigners create fake companies that were never going to be operated and then get visas to enter the United States. A whistleblower in hiding abroad and fearing for her life has delivered explosive evidence to Project Veritas exposing an alleged visa fraud scheme involving former U.S. Attorney General William Barr, medium figure Armstrong Williams, and other prominent D.C. insiders. Patricia Lellis, a Brazilian journalist who worked for Williams, confirmed by a second anonymous government source, claims wealthy foreigners are securing U.S. visas through sham companies with Barr's direct knowledge and participation. Lellis alleges she's being set up as the fall guy in an ongoing DOJ cover-up to protect the powerful deep state individuals involved. Patricia was hired in 2021 by Armstrong Williams' media company, Howard Stark Holdings, claims she was pulled into a visa fraud scheme to secure U.S. visas and green cards for wealthy clients, including the parents of superordinary CEO Julia Reese, a former JP Morgan trader and hedge fund founder. Lellis alleges that Williams and his legal counsel, New York Assemblyman Clyde Vannell, instructed her to craft business plans for fake companies like Race Cosmetics to obtain E2 investor visas, which allow foreign nationals to work in the U.S. by investing in a business. Project Veritas examined text reveals that Armstrong Williams directed Patricia Lellis to receive $700,000 in her personal account for creating a business plan for Peter and Vivine Reese E2 visa application. When Lellis raised concerns about the absence of a contract and being falsely presented as a lawyer rather than a journalist, Williams responded with threats. So, despite being presented as legitimate to U.S. immigration authorities, these companies allegedly conducted no actual operations. Lellis further claims former Attorney General William Barr knew of the fraud and used burner phones to communicate and conceal the scheme. Wow. So, literally, our Attorney General was working directly to secure visas fraudulently for foreigners. So it's basically like they create a fake company and then that I helped to create with them. After they got their visas, I discovered that they had no plans to open or operate the company. So it's basically like they create a fake company that I helped them create with them. So yeah, she was being used as a fall person to help create these fake companies. And then now she's being, they're going after her for it, even though she was just following orders, boss. Project Veritas investigated the listed Florida address for Reese Cosmetics in the E2 visa application, confirmed no such business exists or operates, and there has been no operated there, according to witnesses. So it just goes on to talk about, it just goes on to show more evidence. I highly recommend you guys go check this out on Project Veritas on their website. But this is major. I mean, Bill Barr, he was the Attorney General for the entire country, and he was fraudulently getting these people to get into the country through these fake visas. I mean, it's crazy. And it's kind of funny because now they could just buy their visas with Trump's new gold visa program. So it's kind of funny that they could have just waited and bought their way in anyway. It's funny because programs like this will now go away because of Trump's new thing where you could just buy your way in. It is kind of funny when you think about it. But no, Bill Barr absolutely needs to face some repercussions for this. What are you guys saying in the chat? Oh yeah, I forgot Fun Boy Cannoli takes Fridays off. There's a couple of stories on the floor behind you. Is there now? New estimates are 1.5 to 1.8 million dead in Ukrainian soldiers. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if we can trust those numbers because the numbers from both sides, you know, fog of war and everything. I think Joey is settling in DC for the Culture War show tomorrow. Yes, that's insane, Bach. No wonder they want World War III. Yeah, they want World War III because they have no more troops. Anyway, back to the Bill Barr, because I'm not done. It goes further, guys, because this was just part one. They have a ton of evidence showing that he was a part of these visa fraud schemes for billionaires, but it doesn't end there. We have this part two from Project Veritas. Former Attorney General Bill Barr held secret meetings to plot prosecutions of Trump bloc. Sorry, they titled this really weird. Former Attorney General Bill Barr held secret meetings to plot prosecutions of Trump to block his political comeback, is how that should read. Sorry about that. So what happened here? So a whistleblower currently under indictment in the U.S. Department of Justice and granted political asylum as undisclosed foreign country has provided Project Veritas with explosive evidence alleging secret meetings orchestrated by U.S. Attorney General William Barr, media figure Armstrong Williams, and other prominent Washington, D.C. insiders to plan the prosecution of President Donald Trump, his allies, and J6 defendants. So Lalise, again, so this is more being released by Lalise. Her notes reveal that Barr provided a list of targets, including Steve Bannon, Rudy Giuliani, Stuart Rhodes, Enrique Tarrio, Jeffrey Clark, Oath Keepers, Proud Boys. Following this meeting, many of these individuals were subsequently subpoenaed to testify before the January 6th committee or face charges related to January 6th or the 2020 election, demonstrating Barr's apparent influence in driving the legal actions against them. Project Veritas examined photos dated March 15, 2022 of Armstrong, William, and Bill Barr alongside Lillis's corresponding notes for a meeting at Sinclair Broadcast Group. The notes detailed discussions revealing Barr was in talks with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Jack Smith about planning prosecutions in Florida, Georgia, and New York. Lillis recorded that Barr predicted an FBI raid on Trump's home would occur soon. 5 months later, the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago. Project Veritas also verified a January 19, 2023 text from Williams to Lillis confirming a planned meeting between Bill Barr and Fani Willis. Noted from February 27, 2023, confirmed the meeting took place, with Barr advising Willis to pursue RICO charges against Donald Trump. Lillis stated Bill Barr was like, we should bring RICO charges because it's a very difficult type of charge to defend, noting Barr described the charge as broad and challenging to counter in U.S. law. So here we have, guys, this is major freaking news because this is direct evidence that Bill Barr was actively trying to bring charges against Donald Trump unjustly, looking for things like RICO to bring against him because he knew that it would be hard to defend. Massive news. I encourage all of you to go look and check out Project Veritas. Go check out the full articles on this matter. Hopefully something actually comes of this. We all knew Bill Barr was a scumbag, but now we have the receipts to prove just how much of a scumbag he was and how much he was working to fight Trump getting back into office. Massive news, and we wouldn't have this information without James Okeefe. Massive props to James Okeefe, who is now the rightful owner of Project Veritas again. I am incredibly happy to be reporting on a Project Veritas article again. Good on you, James. Keep doing the work that you do, man. Stuff like this wouldn't be happening without James Okeefe. He's constantly putting out amazing news stories, amazing exposés. Keep up the great work, and please go support Project Veritas. If you don't want to support me, you should at least go support Project Veritas. All right, we're going to start winding things down now, guys. And we're going to move on to this. What I have for you guys, lastly, to end off the Friday show, I need, of course, to end it with The Bee or Not the Bee. If you guys aren't familiar, The Bee is a satirical article site where they write purposely fake and comical news stories. But The Bee is fake. Not the Bee is not fake. Not the Bee is not fake. So if it is not the Bee, it is not fake. So what we're doing here is trying to decide when we read the article title if it is the Bee or is it not the Bee. Let's figure it out. Let's go. Let's start. Oklahoma places $2.1 million bounty on Bigfoot's head. I feel like that's real. Yeah, 62% of people got that right. Let's see their original article. I feel like, is this like an actual thing? You could try the lottery and maybe invest in Bitcoin. Capture Bigfoot. They placed a bounty on Bigfoot's head there, but some rules. You can't bring Bigfoot in cold. Oklahoma tourism officials hoping this generates some buzz. Say Bigfoot needs to be captured unharmed and stress bounty hunters can't break any laws during the hunt. Interesting. Okay. So that's an actual story. Wow. I thought it was going to be like someone nicknamed Bigfoot, but anyway. Laugh my fucking ass off. What? Apple wows consumers by actually listening to them? No, that's the Bee. Oh, that was real? Okay, anyway. Toddler locks iPhone for 47 years. Well, that's real. Yeah, I mean, that's an easy one. Public school teacher makes classroom pledge allegiance to the rainbow flag. Well, that's sadly not real because I've seen the article. Yeah, let's just pull that article up. At least, okay, most people got that right. Video, teacher being investigated for urging students to pledge allegiance to gay pride flag. That was 4 years ago. Disgusting. Arrest him. Arrest the teacher. Bee. It's the Bee. Tom Cruise purchases robots to patrol Mission Impossible 7 movie set for COVID violations? That's not the Bee, huh? That seems a little too specific. That's not the Bee, huh? Of course it's not the Bee. Oh my goodness. You know, the problem with not the Bee or the Bee is that sometimes it makes me lose faith in humanity, but Facebook removing any post quoting the First Amendment for encouraging illegal activity? That's the Bee, right? Okay, thank you. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Thank you. Bee, not the Bee. Sorry, there's a delay killing it. I appreciate you trying to play along the Portland police stop armed robber, then tell him to put a mask on. Not the Bee? Okay, good. That was the Bee. That was the Bee story. Okay, good. Oh, good. New app helps you find token friend of color. That's the Bee, right? Okay, thank you. Honestly, so can someone make that app? I already have a colored friend, multiple, but can someone make that app? I want to see. I wouldn't have put it past Facebook. Right. I wouldn't put it past Facebook either. Teachers union sues mom for desiring good education for son. That's real, huh? Oh my god, why is that real? What? Teachers union sues Rhode Island mom for seeking records about school's critical race theory curriculum. Wow. How dare you try to look into what your kid is being taught? Wow. BLM writers awarded Nobel Peace Prize. That's not the Bee. Okay, that was a Bee. That was a Bee article. Okay, that was fake. Good. Thank you. What is a token friend? It's like the token black guy. Like, you've never heard that before? It's like the token Mexican guy. The token, basically it's the one. He's the one, like that's the one Mexican guy. That's the one black guy. That's the one white guy. It could be used for anyone really. The token black guy, the token white guy, the token Mexican person. Like, it just means the one person. The one person of that race. View results. Oh, what did I get? How many? I got a lot wrong, I feel like. Oh, you answered 7 out of 10 questions correctly. That makes you very non-threatening. Yay, non-threatening. Look at that picture, guys. We are non-threatening. Round of applause. Round of applause for everybody. Good job. We did it. Non-threatening. At least for now. Anyway, let's see. Man, I have like 10. I've got about 5 minutes left. So I'm gonna play some music for you fine folk, and then I'll raid out to Sean Thank you guys again for tuning into the stream today. Again, guys, for those of you that missed it, support the channel. You can subscribe to the channel. You can give me $5 a month. And with that $5, you get access to premium emotes that only you, as a premium subscriber to the channel, can have access to. And I will add more, because the ones I have, they're really good, but I do need to add more. I have a few apps that I can use. So if you do want me to add more emotes, DM me on X or Discord, wherever you can get in contact with me. Contact me. I'll send you the link for where I get my emotes, and you can look through them. Or if you have an emote that you want added directly, you can send that to me. But again, if you guys want to support the channel, one way you can do so is by directly subscribing to the channel, which is separate from following. It's a Rumble-only thing. Subscribe to the channel. You get access to my exclusive emotes that only subscribers get. You get access to my channel ad-free if you're not already ad-free. You also get access to my premium content if you don't already. So please subscribe to the channel. It really does mean a lot. And it's just another way you can support me, besides the Rumble rants and other things like, hitting like on the channel, hitting follow, sharing the video, all that great stuff. I really do appreciate it. I hope all of you have a fantastic weekend. Like that one BFF. Thank you for hosting, Tyler. Great show today. And thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you for everyone hanging out. Thank you to Guido, Fishy, killing it. Thank you to everybody hanging out today. Thank you to all you beautiful and fine people. Make sure you guys let Sean know I sent you over. I hope you guys have a good show with him today. And yeah, let's get that music going. We're gonna do the other song, my other song. I started out with the Shadows, Truth and Shadows. We're gonna do Birds of the Same Wing. This is what we get now, guys. Later. Peace out.